The headquarters of Sterling and Thorne was a cathedral of glass and cold ambition, overlooking the gray pulse of the city. Inside, the classic decor of deep mahogany and polished marble signaled that this was a place where reputation was everything. The air was kept at a precise 68 degrees. Yet for Maya Vance, it felt like a pressure cooker. Maya was a junior intern, but only on paper. In reality, she was a ghost in the machine, the one who actually understood the algorithmic shifts that the senior partners barely knew how to pronounce. Today was a final rehearsal for the $900 million Aegis merger. The boardroom was a sea of gray suits and sharp egos, dominated by Julian Thorne, the firm's senior managing director. Julian was a man who viewed the world as his personal waiting room. He was currently pacing the length of the Peruvian rug, barking into a headset about quarterly projections. Maya stood by the sideboard, organizing the final pitch decks. She had stayed up until 4 a.m. refining the data that would ultimately save Julian's career. "Where's my macchiato?" Julian roared, not looking at anyone. "I've been standing here for 10 minutes. Does this office run on incompetence now?" Maya stepped forward, her voice calm and professional. "Mr. Thorne, the kitchen staff is currently setting up the luncheon. I can get that for you." Julian turned. His eyes raked over Maya, her simple, tailored blazer, her braided hair, the quiet confidence in her eyes. To Julian, she wasn't talent. She was a target. "Then do something useful for once," he sneered, gesturing vaguely at the silver carafe. Maya poured the coffee with precise movements. As she stepped forward to place it on the mahogany table, Julian purposely shifted his weight, his elbow catching her arm. The scalding liquid didn't just spill, it erupted. A dark, steaming wave of espresso soaked into Maya's ivory blouse, the heat blossoming painfully against her skin. The room went silent. The social jury of junior associates and partners froze, their eyes darting between the steaming stain on Maya's chest and Julian's face. "Oh, look at that," Julian said, his voice dripping with a fake, jagged sympathy. "Clumsy. You're lucky it didn't hit the pitch decks, or I'd have you out on the street before you could apologize. Go clean yourself up. You're an eyesore." He didn't offer a napkin. He didn't even look at the burn forming on her hand. He simply turned back to the window, dismissing her as if she were a broken piece of furniture. Maya stood perfectly still. She could feel the coffee cooling, turning sticky and heavy against her skin. She looked at the guests, the same people who had relied on her research for months, and saw them looking away, back to their phones, back to their notes. Only one person, a young analyst in the corner, had his phone tilted slightly up, recording the classic arrogance of Julian Thorne. "Mr. Thorne," Maya said. Her voice didn't shake. It was as cold as the glass walls surrounding them. "You should check your email before you continue the meeting." "I don't take advice from the help," Julian snapped. "Get out." "It's not advice," Maya replied, turning toward the door. "It's a notification." Maya walked out of the boardroom, her heels clicking rhythmically on the marble. She didn't go to the restroom to scrub the stain. She went to the elevator and pressed the button for the 50th floor, the penthouse. Back in the boardroom, Julian was mid-sentence when every device on the table chimed simultaneously. It was a synchronized chorus of digital doom. Julian frowned, picking up his phone. The subject line read, "Immediate personnel action, Sterling and Thorne Holdings." He clicked it, expecting a routine HR update. Instead, he saw a video. It was a footage from 30 seconds ago. The coffee, the sneer, the eyesore comment, posted to the firm's internal and external investor portals. Above the video was a single sentence: "The culture of Sterling and Thorne is under new management." Below that was a legal filing. It revealed that Maya Vance was not an intern from a local college. She was a daughter of Marcus Vance, the silent majority shareholder who had passed away 6 months prior. Maya had spent the last 90 days undercover as an intern audit the firm's leadership before officially taking her seat as the chair of the board. The door to the boardroom swung open. Maya was back. She hadn't changed her blouse. The coffee stain was still there, dark and jagged against the ivory fabric, a badge of Julian's failure. Julian's face went from a splotchy red to a deathly translucent white. "Maya, Miss Vance," I had no idea. It was an accident. The coffee was an accident, Julian, Maya said, walking to the head of the table. But the eyesore comment was a choice. The dismissal of my work was a choice. And your belief that you could treat someone beneath you with such casual cruelty was a choice. She placed her hand on the back of the chair's seat. His seat. The Aegis merger is dead, she announced to the room. At least under this leadership. I've spent 3 months watching you bleed this company's soul dry while taking credit for the work of people you don't even bother to learn the names of. Maya looked at the security team standing by the door. Julian Thorne is being terminated for cause, effective immediately. Morality clause, section 4. He is to be escorted from the building. No boxes, no personal effects. We will courier his things to his home. You can't do this, Julian shouted, his voice cracking as the reality of his $20 million stake vanishing hit him. I built this place. You built a glass house, Julian, Maya said, leaning forward, and I just threw the first stone. As the security guards, the same men Julian had ignored for years, took him by the arms, the rest of the board sat in terrified silence. Maya sat down in the leather chair, the coffee stain still wet, the morning sun finally breaking through the clouds to illuminate the room. Now, Maya said, looking at the stunned junior analyst in the corner, let's talk about the data you all ignored. Julian was let out, his protests echoing down the hallway until the heavy mahogany doors clicked shut. The empire hadn't fallen. It had just finally found its foundation.